everyone, this is Heather Lottinen from the Flourish.Academy. I'm here with Robbie. Hey, Robbie.
What's going on?
Guess where I am?
You're at your favorite place in the world. You're at YM Camera.
I have missed you guys so much. I've missed the store. We're here today to do a live Q&A. I have a ton of questions for you, not just from our friends, but I actually have questions because I feel like you need to catch me up on what's new, what's happening. Okay, before I get into these questions, in the past 6 to 8 months, what is the one biggest thing that new that you're excited about?
Possibly a vaccine would probably be the thing I'm most excited about.
Related
to camera industries.
Yeah.
Okay, new thing I'm most excited about is how every manufacturer now is on board with mirrorless, and there's no manufacturer being left in the dust right now, which is kind of cool. A lot of new releases coming out that we'll definitely dive into.
Okay. Let's start with the questions because that's going to get me. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, my friend Caitlin was asking a rundown on mirrorless and what Robbie knows about the new Nikon bodies coming out this month because I'm thinking of making the jump to mirrorless. Now that goes along with the question from Samantha who asked the difference between the Nikon Z6 and the new Z6 II. So Nikon mirrorless, let's talk about that.
Okay, Nikon mirrorless, so October 14th, all will be revealed. I don't like to comment on rumor sites very much.
Oh, got it.
But honestly, it seems pretty on the key. I don't know. I'm not a Nikon employee. I am a Nikon authorized reseller. They will let us know if they announce the new cameras at 6 a.m. I know at 5:30 a.m. So just enough time to get prepared. The Nikon rumor sites usually are pretty on point. So
check those out, maybe.
Yeah. So, but if you're my Nikon rep, please put your plug your ears because Nikon Z6. So the Z5 and Z6, Z7 really hot sellers here. Full frame mirrorless cameras. The newest camera in the line is the Z5. It's $1,400 body only, so very inexpensive for a full frame mirrorless. Where we're going to see that Z6 Mark II and Z7 Mark II definitely coming in price-wise more expensive than the Z6 and current Z7, of course. One feature, I will almost guarantee it, I'll write a check right now on it if you want to bet, it is going to have dual card slots.
Oh, wow, big deal.
So the Z5 has dual SD card slots, where I guarantee the new Z6 II and Z7 II will have a XQD/CF Express card slot and a SD card slot.
Wow.
That's one thing a lot of photographers.
Yeah, they were.
Like even the Canon EOS R, they were like, why doesn't it have dual card slots?
Right.
And I get it. And I'm a big fan of the XQD. So Z6 II, Z7 II, dual card slots. One other thing, just from the leaked rumors I saw, was battery grip. You could put a vertical battery grip on. A few more frames per second. The big thing that's kind of interesting is that Nikon's really never went Mark II.
Oh.
They, that's usually Canon, 6D Mark II, 5D Mark III, 5D Mark IV.
Yes.
So one thing we're probably not going to see new image sensors. So we're going to have the 24 megapixels and the 45 megapixel image sensor respectively from the Z6 and Z7 Mark IIs. Which isn't that big a deal. I think we really I gave Heather a D850 and she said I like my D750.
I did.
24 megapixels for my wedding
It's
photographers.
enough.
It's a really good sweet spot for a lot of things. And then if you are doing a lot of portraits and a lot of landscape, bump it up to the Z7. You're doing that nice tripod work. So definitely dual card slots, battery grip, probably a new processor for a little bit better low light, which is crazy because they're already insane. And I think we're going to see just some nice minor features that we're missing. And I think a new ENEL15 battery. Your old batteries will work, but they'll be better charging and stuff like that.
Oh, well, they do need to work on the battery life. I mean, that was something with mirrorless that was a little bit challenging for a wedding photographer specifically.
Definitely, no, I 100% agree. That's, the only advantage of DSLRs nowadays is battery life.
That's it.
It's the only advantage. But they're getting better. They are every
iteration. Yeah. Okay. How many mirrorless cameras does Nikon have on the market right now? It's 3, right?
It's 4.
4.
So they
4. Yeah.
I'll take it from the entry level to the professional level.
Yes,
So we got the Z50, which is the little baby brother to the Z5. It's APS-C. Comes in 2 lens kits. clicking moms, people are really enjoying that camera. It's super fun,
Yes, they
super
are.
Lightweight.
I have a friend that bought it from you.
Yeah.
Loves it.
Yeah.
Doesn't even know how to use it. And loves it.
It's great. You can run automatic.
Right.
You're going to get fun shots.
Right.
Same sensor as the $1,500 D500 camera we sell here.
Oh,
so,
wow.
you know, for $1,000 with a lens, you can't beat it.
No, you really can't. In
That's
fact,
your
that's
trouble.
one of the ones I'm recommending to a lot of people these days.
It's great.
Yeah.
Because then you can get the higher end lenses if
Right.
you want it. You can. There's movement forward. And then they got the Z5, Z6, Z7. So Z5 being the entry level. I don't want to harp too much because I do have some videos on Z5 versus Z6. Biggest difference is Z5 is dual SD card slot, whereas Z6 is the XQD. And then Z5 is 4 pictures per second, where the Z6 is 12. That's my main.
And you know what?
differences.
And that means nothing to me. Like, I don't shoot like that.
Yeah.
But a sports photographer would.
Definitely. Yeah. Like Z5 is not the camera for you for sports.
Right, right. That's a good point. Okay, perfect. So now we know what's coming up. Okay.
And then Z6 Mark II, Z7 Mark II. I'm going to do something for Flourish.Academy. It's going to be October 14th. Nikon's doing a big live announcement. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I should come visit again.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of people are talking about upgrading to that from their D750.
It's hard because 750. Like I had a lady call me this week, and she's like, "Hey, I want a 750. I do portraits and weddings," and I'm like, "Should I just get another one? Like, you know, just for backup?" But I'm like, it came out in 2014. It's getting up there. I know.
That's 6 years.
I know. So and Nikon priced it out of competition. It's $1,500.
Right.
Where this is $1,400.
Right.
It's frustrating.
It is frustrating, and I have mixed feelings about that because as a wedding photographer, I like to have 2 of the exact same camera. It makes it easier now. Okay. That being said, if somebody posed that question to me today, I would be like, I really think you need to go mirrorless.
Exactly, because like I kind of feel bad if someone comes in for 750. Hey, this is my friend shoots. Well, like I bet she loves it, but I bet she's going to be in 6 months to buy mirrorless and then recommend that after you get this. So
you just can't. I mean, in 2020, you just knowing what you know about mirrorless, you can't buy a D750 that was originally manufactured in 2014.
I know it's really hard. I keep one on the shelf. Some people say, "Hey, I this is what I know."
I love mine.
Perfect.
Good. I love it. I love it.
Have fun with it.
But I wouldn't buy it right now.
I know. It's a hard buy.
Yeah, I would buy one of those Z.
Or they have the D780, but they price that out.
Yeah, and that just came out, didn't it?
It's like $2,300 when the Z6.
Well, okay,
is
question.
$1,796.
Not that you know this, but why would they do that?
I think they still want to serve the DSLR markets.
It almost didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's mirrorless is already here.
Yeah,
and it's,
right.
It's we're already seeing it. Like I think 75% of our new camera body sales are mirrorless.
Really?
Yeah, it's a real high number.
Yeah. So, and I bet that that's true across the board. So, okay, moving on past mirrorless. My friend Bethany, and I have one here. She has the Godox V1, which I also have and love. Here's the Godox V1, and she said when she's shooting in manual mode, she's unable to adjust her shutter speed.
What camera?
So I was asking her a bunch of questions. What was she shooting in? What was she trying to adjust? And I didn't get the camera because I think this could be a sync speed issue.
It's definitely a sync speed issue. If you have a D750, you have to go to your settings and do auto FP on.
Yep.
That's the.
Yep.
I see that 5 times a week. You're not the first, you're not the last.
It's very common.
It's a stupid thing
yeah.
that they do. Just call me.
If you can't adjust your shutter speed with a flash on, it is because you have reached the limit of the shutter speed sync with the flash. But some cameras and some flashes have the ability to do high speed sync and some do not. So if you put the Godox V1, which does have the ability to high speed sync.
And it's gonna look like it's capped out at like 2/100 of a second. But
right,
it's not.
But it's not.
You don't have
right.
You're
gonna think that, but it's not. Some of the flashes are. This one is not one of them. You can do high speed sync, but if your camera body doesn't allow it, then you won't be able to. And some camera bodies you have to set a setting that says that you allow it to do high speed sync. So I bet you she was trying to go above 1/250th of a second.
With that
fast. Yep.
Hey, like while we're at it, you cool if I do a little overview of the Godox line?
I would love that because I am a huge Godox fan.
Me too.
I converted a few years ago thanks to you. You let me try out some gear, and I started with this.
And that's where I always start. This is the V860. So I always joke around that they ruined the flash industry because I used to sell like 5 or 10 Nikon flashes a month, Canon flashes, Sony branded flashes. Now I keep like 1 in stock. Like why? It's just, so like this is the same exact power as like the Nikon SB 5000 or SB 700 or your Canon 600 EXRT. They're $179.
Unreal.
And you're not buying you're not buying batteries anymore.
Unreal.
That's the best part of it.
The battery is my favorite part. It's a
I know.
rechargeable battery, and I've tested it multiple times at weddings. That battery has lasted me an entire wedding. That is unheard of.
I know, because you're buying the end loops, you're buying all the rechargeables. It sucks.
Oh,
I hate buying
the amount of
batteries.
money I have spent on batteries over my tenure is actually obscene. So when this came out with this rechargeable, I was like, I'm in it. I was thinking, I probably need to buy a couple backups of the battery, and I haven't.
For what? The batteries are $38. So
Unreal.
So even if you get through 2 or 3 wedding seasons on the same flash, and you get to buy a new battery, the cost to maintain this is ridiculously
It's
low.
ridiculous. Yeah.
All right, can you hold that
Yeah,
one? Where's
yeah.
that little box I threw you?
Oh. Sorry.
Half off at
Right there.
So this is kind of our progression line here. So we got the V860, and then I usually like this. I run this either on camera or as a nice off-camera kicker or something like that.
Same.
And then I really like the V1 on camera as like that beautiful round head camera light. And then the cool thing is the connectivity. It's like Pro Photo in terms of that. Is that if you have either like a flash like this or a trigger like the X Pro trigger, which is $70, which is so cheap, it'll just control everything off
They all
camera.
talk.
They
Yep.
all talk with each other.
Yep.
No matter if you get the $79 flash or the $1,200 off-camera
Brilliant.
model light. So all you got to do is make sure you're on the same channel. This is actually, I think I just ran a report. This is like the top 3 selling products.
I love
the
it.
store.
Yep.
Out of everything, this is it.
I've used it with the mag mod and the mag box, you know, and I've triggered it with the V862. Oh my gosh,
It's crazy.
It's crazy brilliant.
It's so easy. Like off-camera flash definitely is.
It was very easy to use. Like that, I literally I actually challenged myself to turn them on and not read the manual to see how like intuitive it is, you know. And the only thing that tripped me up, which is just because I needed to read it, is that there is a radio signal or there is infrared. You can use either one.
Right.
And so I always set mine to radio because I don't have line of sight.
Yeah.
So the infrared is like actually kind of stupid to me. Like I'm never going to use that, you know, but it took me a second to figure out where to change that. But once I did, I put it on master, slave, and radio, and it never missed.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. No wires, no cables, no pocket wizards, no bags of gear. Like 2 really streamlined lights.
I know. I hate to say it's like Pocket Wizard around anymore. Like I don't even sound this. It really is just.
I used them for years and I love them. They were workhorses.
Yeah, they're great.
But to not have to deal with the wires, and then I was like literally making brackets. Like so that I could get things to fit together. That's just all talks. It's all just like streamlined and works together beautifully.
The craziest thing about Godox too is just like, hey, like you want barn doors or a
modifiers,
or a modifier.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? If you want barn doors, and a bracket head to put Bowen's S-type modifiers on, $25.
$25.
I know, like that's $120 in other brands, but they just like
right. So I'm sending everybody to the V862.
Start off with that,
right.
And then that'll be your gateway drug into the whole entire system, and then you'll be buying 8200s and light stands and strip boxes and.
Okay, I did have somebody ask me recently. I have the 8200. I find it to be plenty of power.
Yeah.
But then there's the 400 and is it 600?
So there's actually
or 800.
There's 300 now. That just came out. I did a video on that.
Okay.
There's the 400 and the 600.
Okay.
I kind of 600 is a little too much for a lot of people. Like unless
you can use that much power.
You're doing like a soccer team or something like that.
Right.
But I really like the 400 as a complement to the 200. I think if you're doing off-camera flash, you're going to get a V860 or V1. You're going to get an 8200 for a kicker or like on-location portraits. Then that 400 is going to be your key. That's
Love it.
Really nice. $650, I think.
I mean, it is practically free. It's so inexpensive. And the reason I say that, and people might be laughing at me thinking like, oh, Heather, but it's $650. But I remember the days when buying something like that, Robbie, was $5,000.
I know, it's like crazy.
It's so cheap now. I think there's
a trigger like for Pro Photo, just to like get the off camera. I love Pro Photo. If you shoot Pro Photo,
we support
you made
that.
a great investment. But it is $449 for the trigger, which is just like it's hard. You know what I mean?
Like, how can you sell that? Like knowing that
I keep them on the shelf, and some people say, hey, that's what I command,
Yeah.
and that's what I want to shoot with.
Yeah.
I trust it. cannot hate on that. It's good.
I had a friend ask me recently, he has a couple pro photo items, and he was like, but I'm starting to buy Godox, and what should I buy? And I was like, listen, for me, I want to stay in the same ecosystem.
Right, that makes sense.
So if it were me, if I were him, I'd sell the pro photo, and I would buy all Godox, because then I can have all of these different options and lights and not break the bank.
Yeah, you know, but if you're already in the pro photo ecosystem,
then you might want to. That's exactly what I said. If
it's gonna last forever.
Exactly. If you were all in, then stay all in. But I'm not going to take a mortgage out to buy more of it.
Right.
I would rather take that and use it towards Godox. Okay, perfect. Okay, that was the Godox. All right. Oh, this is a good one. Renee is asking the benefits of using mirror versus mirrorless. I want a new camera body for better quality. I have the Nikon D5600 right now. Yeah. I also need a good lens for family pet photos. I have a 70-200, but I want to be able to stand closer to my subjects, especially pets. It's easier to get them when I'm not so far away. Okay, what would you recommend?
So definitely, I think you're the perfect candidate where you start with the 5600. It got you into it. You're ready for full frame, obviously. I just like, even, especially with your last comment there,
yes,
of where you want to stand and
yes,
everything. So you're going to get the full frame. In terms of that 70 is going to be a true 70, the 200 is going to be a true 200. Definitely, as I said before, there's really no inherent advantage of having a mirror and a camera, and all the manufacturers are really shying away from it. If you put you know, a mirrorless up and you shoot the EVF for a weekend and say I don't like it, the D780 is a great choice. But honestly, Z6 or Z6 Mark II is going to be what you want. And then you can use that adapter no matter what 70-200 you have.
Yes.
It'll work perfect.
Yes.
My one big thing though, if you're getting a Nikon, if you're getting a Canon, if you're getting a Sony, if you're getting a Fuji, you want at least one native lens. Yeah. My Nikon and Canon users are already established Nikon and Canon users.
Yes.
And they probably have a bunch of lenses. So you just want to make sure when you're buying that new body, you want to get one prime lens, one zoom lens, or something like that.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Hey, Cora. Hey, what kind of lens is she saying she needs to be a little bit closer? She needs a wider lens.
Right, 24-70.
Yeah, 24-70.
24-70 or 50.
Oh, okay. Could she get that kit?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. That would be brilliant.
Yeah, Z6 24-70 kit.
Would be perfect.
Yeah, you're perfect.
Yeah, that would be really good. Yeah. People ask me all the time, mirror versus mirrorless. I'm like, there are no advantages to that mirror except that you're gonna have to go get it calibrated.
It's what all the manufacturers are focusing on, and I think it's for a good reason. And I haven't had anyone like try one out, maybe like 5 years ago, and say, but nowadays the technology is just there.
Right, right. It's the future.
It is the future.
It is the future. Okay, Courtney, these questions are all very similar. She's thinking about going mirrorless.
You're thinking about
yeah, with her second body. Okay, so she has a body. Okay. She's lost arm strength because of health issues.
Okay.
Please ask Robbie if they, preferably Nikon, make a mirrorless 70-200 lens. That's the one I struggle with. Also, is the Fuji X-T3 a good mirrorless camera to take on the go?
Great camera.
I want quality for my family outings, but I don't want to bring a lot of gear, especially.
X-T3 is great for family cam and like definitely a B cam for weddings if you're shooting full frame. But you can even shoot an A cam. Really, it doesn't. I mean, the Fuji quality is so good. But and that may be something to look at. I mean, if you like go like honestly, like I don't know how invested you are or where you're at. Like the Tamron, the Nikon 70-200 for the Z, it's not lighter, really isn't. Like you're not
still
gonna
be heavy.
It's still gonna have your full frame.
Yep.
Like the one that I did want to talk about is Sony today, which we've talked about here number 4. But the only thing that Nikon and the Canon don't have really is that third-party support. That's like the hardest part.
Oh, question! I've been meaning to ask you this. Where is Tamron at with making lenses compatible with the new mirrorless lines?
I think COVID had to throw a wrench in it because there's no reason they wouldn't.
Right.
But they're just like literally destroying it. I'm opening up a lens right now. Pardon me for a second. I should have had it open before.
Yeah.
With their line of lenses for that Sony. Because look how small this is. All right. So you got your A7 III, which is a full frame mirrorless camera. Honestly, maybe this is something you look at. I mean, you know, you're kind of in the prime where if you're looking between Fuji or sticking with Nikon, but here's a 70-200. It's actually 70-180. They cheat a little bit, but one-handed, it's so light.
All right, I'll tell you. Okay, it is light. I mean, listen, it's not ever going to be like...
Yeah, crazy small.
Right,
yeah.
But it is much lighter. This combination is much lighter than the Canon or Nikon mirrorless combo of this. Now... the new Nikon mirrorless 70 to 200 lens is amazing.
Yeah, it's great. The quality is incredible.
Like
there's
off
no
the charts,
denying
but it's not any lighter. So your camera body's lighter, so your overall combination would be lighter a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But still, if you have shoulder or arm issues.
I know, like, I am showing this comment to a lot of people. We sell more Nikon, Canon than anything, but Sony, they really make an amazing product. This one's full frame mirrorless, 24 megapixels, $2,000, and instead of, like, this lens is only $1,200. So it's like super cheap for f2.8.
Okay, so Tamron invested first in making native mirrorless for Sony because Sony
Have the mount out first.
Right.
Which makes
Correct.
sense.
It's been longer. Right.
And they were selling more units than Nikon and Canon, so they're gonna make the lenses for their, what units.
Because I got to tell you, I'm a little excited, anxious for Tamron to
Same.
catch.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. My dad and I were talking about that. We're like, if I could sell you a Z5 and a 24 to 70, Tamron,
Done.
you're perfect.
I'd get the 24 to 70 and the 70 to 200 because it's so much less expensive.
Tamron's weird about it though, because they their new lenses, their focal lengths are to make them smaller. They're slightly different.
Slightly different.
Look at 70 to 180 to
yeah.
And then they're 24 to 70, 28 to 75. But they can shave
That's
off
funny.
pounds doing that.
Right.
So
So it matters. I'm not real weird about that. Like that doesn't bother me.
180 to 200 is nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a half a step forward.
Right. No, that doesn't bother me. Okay, Greg is asking if there's a big difference between the 50-1.8 and the 85-1.8 for the Z6. I have the 50 and I'm curious about the 85.
Yeah, you may be a little close with 50 and 85, but kind of backtracking on that too, the 85 is like the best reviewed Z lens out there. And
Sharp.
I really, like so many photographers tell me like every single day, like that, I'm like, what's your favorite lens for portraits? And, they say the 135 gives me more bokeh, the 7200 gives me a ton of bokeh, 200mm 2.8, but I love the working length of 85 when I'm working with my portrait.
Portraits, yes.
It is a good working
yes,
length.
It is.
Like where you're far enough away and you can still talk and you can still get full body if you want.
Yes.
If you like the 50, honestly, you'll probably love the 85 if you're doing a lot of portraiture.
I would think so. And if you're outdoors and you have space, then you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's a great working.
Brian is asking, what's the zoom range again of the Sony lens?
The Tamron, so they have the Trinity out. All right. So it's 17 to 28 2.8. 28 to 75 2.8 and 70 to 180 f2.8.
Yeah, listen, I care about none of those numbers except the f2.8.
Yeah,
I'm in. If it's f2.8
and lightweight, and you care about the pounds because
I do.
Looks small.
I do. Yeah, compared to the Nikon and Canon version of that. Okay, and was it Annette had a question? Yeah, what's the difference between the Z6 and the Z5?
Okay, Z6, Z5, I'll kind of do my high-level overview here. Z5 has dual SD card slots, does 4 frames per second, and has a 24 megapixel sensor. The advantage of the Z6 is it's a 24 megapixel backside illuminated sensor, which means technically it'll be a little better and cleaner at high ISOs.
Wow.
It does 12 frames per second, which is the biggest of deals. It does have a top LCD screen where you see all your shooting data and stuff like that. Other than that, if you're doing portraiture or landscape, they're going to be pretty similar cameras when you're at ISO 100. And then the recorded media is a little bit different, where you get the XQD on.
Okay, so there's
Z6.
3 things I would ask myself if I was interested in those 2 cameras. Does frames per second matter to me? Do I photograph a lot of fast-moving subjects?
Yeah.
Does low light matter to me? Am I in a lot because
I'm like 50-50 on the low light.
It's huge for me.
Like in my real world tests, it's like so close.
You can't tell. Okay,
it's hard to tell.
Okay. So it's not even. All right, got it. And the dual card slot, like if that matters too. That really only, in my opinion, really only matters to wedding photographers.
And I think when that Z6 II comes out, I think that's going to be like wildfire. I think if you're hanging on to a D610, a 750 or something like that, and you're ready to go.
And that's one that's coming out next week.
They're official. They did a teaser with a countdown clock to the official announcement on the 14th.
Okay. And then I don't know how it works with them because everything's weird this year. Like, backstory: I was going to buy a new iPhone this year, but they haven't come out yet.
Yeah.
Because supply chain.
Right.
So when Nikon announces, so their announcement is on the 14th, when do they usually start shipping after an announcement?
We'll probably see those units early November.
Okay, perfect. That's not too far. Yeah, that's not too far. Okay. Brian is asking, give me your thoughts on the new A7C.
Oh, that's cool.
We're moving mirrorless, especially as we do a ton of video lately.
A7C is pretty interesting. I think it's priced a little funky. I think it's they were like $200, a little bit high on it, but for some people they are not going to care because that's going to be a special camera. So the A7C is literally like the same camera as the A7 III spec-wise, but they cut off the top.
Oh.
And they put the viewfinder over here.
Oh.
It's like a little A6000. It's
okay.
It's $1,800. And I think if you have some of those small primes that Sony makes and you have that camera, that really puts a hurt on like APS-IC and like Micro Four Thirds because it's so tiny and it's full frame with eye tracking and I think it's a single SD card slot, but it has the better battery in it too. That's gonna be like
very nice for video
and traveling. It's gonna be super tiny. That with a small prime, a little 24, 2.8 or something.
Oh, you'd be set.
You'd be good.
Yeah, well, you don't need anything else. Yeah, for sure. Hopefully that helps, Brian. I feel like I missed something. Candy was saying, I love my 7200 for Sony. It's so sharp. It's a Tamron. She has the Tamron. So that is good. Okay, let me go back here. All right. What have I... he just said that was a nice photo. It's fine. Yeah.
We do take good
yeah,
photos.
that is... Bree took that of us. We did a photo walk. Remember that? She was referencing this photo. Okay. I feel like, a lot has happened in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
What is I don't know, what is selling? What are you excited about? What are people excited about?
Yeah, how about I just give a kind of overview of obviously COVID-19, like what's going on.
Yes, perfect.
We're actually very busy. We're very blessed. We're very lucky. And
amen.
And then the hard part, is that if you do want a new camera or a certain item, we're trying to keep our stock. Our stock is actually higher than it's ever been. We have more cameras in stock and lenses, and it's really hard to find sometimes. If the item is back ordered, if you're trying to get something in, the supply chains have slowed down.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. And we just thank everyone, especially from this group. You guys have been so cool about pre-orders and hey, if I'm out of stock of something, I'll promise you I'll try to get in as quickly as I can.
What can you do? I mean, it's out of your hands.
It's so funny. Right. Like immediately we saw 150 to 600s, those big zooms.
Yeah.
Sold out every one.
What?
Couldn't get them back in anywhere in the country.
Why? People were like out.
Burning. They were doing wildlife. They're doing nature.
Got it.
They
were out in the nature. Yeah. Okay.
So it was funny to see that was the consumer trend for a while. As people wanted long zooms to have fun. Macros, same thing. They're
really?
Like, hey, I guess if I can't go do my son's sports photos, I guess we might take some flowers in the backyard. So.
Or some bees or something, a butterfly. Yeah. So if something is like a really unique lens, focal length, then it probably takes a little bit longer to get it, right? I mean,
yeah, like right now everything's kind of catching back up. Or there is a little bit of return to normalcy in terms of our stock.
It's just been weird.
It's been weird, but it's like we didn't even touch on Canon. Canon's killing it right now. They're probably the best camera on the market right now.
Oh, which one do you like?
The R5 and R6.
Oh, got it. Okay.
They have dual SD card slots. Their RF lenses are phenomenal. That R5. It's crazy. The camera's $38.99. Not cheap, whatever.
Yeah, right.
If you put a pre-order in, great. We'll get you one. Right now, if you go on eBay.com, you go to completed auctions of Canon R5s. They're going for like $5,000.
Stop it.
You cannot get them in the United States.
What?
The wait time, like B&H sent an email out that I talk about my competitors, but
right,
they sent an email out and they said that we cannot fulfill orders by 2021.
Whoa, wow.
It's insane. We have a waiting list too. We'll get you on it. We're super transparent in terms of
when and how.
And we're working with Canon to get more units. But that's the craziest thing. I was so excited about those new Canon mirrorlesses, and they're so hard to get. They have the R5, which is
tell me their whole lineup.
Yeah, so they have the R.
Right, that was the first one.
R, and then they have the RP, which is like their little guy. Just like that.
Oh,
super
okay.
small, $1,000.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
So this is like the Z50?
Yeah, more like the Z5.
Oh, okay, check. All right.
And then their two new ones are the R5 and R6.
Okay.
The R6, to put it in layman's terms, it's the D750. It's the Z6. That's kind of like right
the
there.
level. Okay.
20 megapixels, 20 frames per second, dual SD card slots, and same battery, in-body image stabilization. And then the R5 is the hot one. That's the 45 megapixel sensor.
one SD card slot, one CF Express card slot, 20 frames per second, 8K video, and that's the $4,000 beast.
Who needs 45 megapixels? Like, that's
a lot of people
so
do need
much.
it.
Okay, I don't.
You don't shoot for everyone. You shoot for yourself.
I know, you're right. That's
So,
fair.
yeah, our Canon R5 and R6, two of the most compelling cameras I've ever seen.
Wow. And who knows when you get them? Either one of them?
They're trickling in. We
Yeah.
can get you one. It's frustrating because I want 100 here. But,
Yeah, right. They sell.
I would sell 100 today.
They would sell.
So very interesting. So if you're a Canon shooter, seriously, get a pre-order in, get one with an adapter, and get one native lens. You're going to be like, whoa, I'm never touching my 5D again. I promise you that.
Really?
I promise you that. The focus is incredible.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, Greg is saying, any word on the third-party lenses for Nikon Mirrorless?
Nah, nothing yet. It's like we have a few like Chinese ones like Laowa.
Laowa.
Yeah, you never heard of that, but no, come on, Tamron, Sigma. This is my request. This
Oh,
is
well,
my
I'm
ranting
with
rant.
you. I'm with you.
I want them so bad. I know. It's
Because the
frustrating.
Nikon Mirrorless 7200 is beautiful, but what's it clock in at?
2600. Yeah, 2699.
I mean, that's better than 3000.
Yeah, I guess.
But it's still not inexpensive.
Right. So,
And Tamron will come in less than that.
yeah, I know, and they make great lenses, but it's kind of like Profoto Godox. You know, some people will be, I have a Nikon camera.
They want
that
Nikon.
I want that
Yep.
Nikon glass.
Yep.
Can never fault you for that.
No,
But,
right.
but the Tamron, I'm an enthusiast. I don't do any money for work. I love the Tamron and Sigma stuff. It's
Yeah.
Great prices. Can't
Yeah.
beat it. Great
Okay,
quality.
if somebody were walking in today and they were like, okay, we have two different people.
Okay.
So,
I like these.
I'm making this up in my head
This
as
is
I go.
fun. I can do
Okay,
this.
okay. One person comes in and they're like, hey, I just have my phone. I'm just getting into photography. And I don't know if I want to do it professionally, but I want to take better photos of my kids.
Okay. Definitely starting with those APS-C. You know, I'm looking at the Fuji, looking at the Nikon Z50, looking at the Canon EOS RP.
Got it.
Or this, yeah, like it depends. Like, and if weight's a big factor, we're definitely going with one of those smaller APS-C cameras that Canon, Nikon, or Sony makes, or Fuji makes. If they don't mind a little bit of a bigger camera, I'm definitely going with either the EOS RP, which is really cool, full frame mirrorless, or the Z5. Because these are both clocking in like under $1,600.
Ah, right.
So I mean, but for
Not
some people,
bad.
not bad.
Right.
And then, but I think your second question is going to be as someone who is looking to get into it, or has a D610, or has an old 6D.
It's like you can read my mind. I was going to say, somebody comes in that has a DSLR, and they're ready to upgrade, and maybe they're starting to make money, or they're just exploring their hobby more.
First name, last name photography comes in. They want to upgrade, and they want to do it. Honestly, I'm probably starting out. I want to show them the Sony. Definitely,
Yeah.
I think because those Tamron lenses are
Right. You have a lot of options there.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And then we're going definitely Nikon Z or Canon EOS R. I think those are just the top three powerhouses.
Yeah. So I guess you would ask them how invested they are in their current system.
Right, and then we always start like our selling philosophy is, hey, what are you taking photos of? What are you shooting now? And what models are you looking at? And let's get them in your hands.
Yep.
I don't care what you buy.
Yeah.
Whatever. Even if I don't have in stock, it's fine.
Yeah.
But that's something we always do. So.
Okay, how is the, talk to me about the used stock right now. What do we got used?
Well, if you want to trade some stuff in, we will be buying high right now. Just let me know. I'll manage any trading quote.
I'm going to bring in my old D700.
All right. Okay. Well,
$20,
here,
right?
$20 and a nice handshake for that guy. No. Like
No,
we're,
I mean, it's old.
Used stock's pretty good for Canon right now. A few Nikons. People call and say, "Hey, do you have the new Canon 7200 2.8 mirrorless used yet?" I don't.
Right.
No one's getting rid of them.
Right,
so
right, yeah.
a lot of good used DSLRs
Right.
right now at the moment. But please trade them in. We give really aggressive prices.
Yeah, they do really well with that. Okay. Oh man, I had another question. But Caitlin is asking, I have a Sigma 35 and 85 Arts for Nikon. Wanting to switch to mirrorless, is it best to stick with Nikon and get the adapter?
Yeah, that'd be great. And a lot of the 35 art focus problems you're going to hear about, which I think for a lot of people, they just hear about it and they think it exists, but it does on your
right.
camera.
It's
but
an urban legend.
It's an urban legend.
Yeah.
I see it happen all the time, but on a lot of models, it's fine. I think people are kind of second guessing their own skill too, but that's aside from your question.
Yeah, right.
But it's kind of cool with if you have a Tamron lens or a Sigma lens and you buy the new Canon or you buy the new Nikon. Yeah, I'd get a Nikon, I'd get a Z6 or a Z6 Mark II. And you bring your lenses in, I plug your lenses into the computer, and I update them to make sure they work with the new adapters.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called.
That's high tech.
That's free service. So, we'll update all your lenses. You won't have any focus issues, but you'll get like the nice enhanced eye tracking. It's great. It's a really easy transition. But I'm telling you, get one native lens if you're going mirrorless.
Yeah.
I want you to get one of them,
Yeah.
just so you can see. Like the reason they're doing this stuff is to get that
The bigger
glass
mount. Right. That's the
closer to that
point.
sensor.
Yes. Yeah, that's the point. Okay, what is the best way we can support you?
Honestly, just give me a shot, give me a call. If you want any questions, advice, we're here to help. So please, referrals always are the best. But like the big thing too, if you're looking for an item and if it says out of stock on our website, just give me a call because we have some weird special situation items. We can break that lens out of a kit or something.
Things are coming, going. It's very dynamic.
It's very dynamic.
Yeah.
So if you think I'm out of stock on something, I probably have a solution for you.
Yeah.
And we got one more
Okay,
question.
and that says I just traded in my Nikon 70-200 f4 for a Tamron 70-200 2.8, and I'm so happy. What a difference. Soon I'm going mirrorless. Okay.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
2.8. That's why.
Let me tell you how this came up. And that was at the Sharpen Your Focus workshop a few weeks ago, and we were playing with her Nikon 70-200, and it was struggling to focus. And now she wasn't trusting it, which hinders your creativity because you're worried about am I getting it in sharp? Is it sharp? Is it in focus? So she picked up that 70-200 2.8 and loves it. 2.8 is magic.
If anybody wants the 70-200 f4, it's still in my used showcase, so you can get that for you. But no, you made the right choice there.
She's awesome. Okay, anything else you'd like to add? Last minute thoughts?
No, please. It's photography is such a good outlet. I'm talking to a lot of photographers and they're staying busy. And
they are busy,
which is awesome.
Yeah.
I love to hear it. So please, we're here for you. If you need anything, please just give me a call and our team will help you out.
Yeah, perfect. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much.